the basic image, the basic model of revenue systems that influence the revenue streams for the club or sports organization. We have infrastructure, we have sponsorships, merchandise, membership fees, match day income, and government. Now we'll talk about how, what are the factors and how to influence them so they can bring us more money. Because yesterday we were talking, financing is a big challenge for all of us. So first things first, I will talk about infrastructure. It's a big problem in the region, but what we have to think about first is that today we were discussing outside that sports clubs are not only competing for sports fans. Crvena Zvezda is not competing for football fans with Partizan Club, because they're competing with the whole entertainment industry in the city of the live events. This is one thing. Concerts, other sports events, cultural events, and so on and so forth. These are our real competitors. On the other side, we have a TV, comfort of our own living room, with a beer, with everything we need, with our wife wearing nice clothes right next to you. So these are our competitors. I don't know, of course, for the big derbies, a lot of people go to the game, but when they play against some other club, which is not so well known, people like to stay at home and watch Premiership. Why would I go to freeze out in the stadium if I have all the comfort in my home to watch a great football game on the TV? Perhaps here is not so visible, but in Slovenia it's very visible because the level of our football league is a bit lower, so why would someone go out and watch Domžale against Radomlje? If it's on TV, they can watch Arsenal, Chelsea, it's top level, elite level sport. So fans are getting really demanding, and this is what we are trying, this is what we have to keep an eye on, because they want to have a comfort at the stadium. They want to have nice seats. I know it's a long way, but I'm talking about the principles here. They want to have convenience. When they're building big new sports arenas across the world, they really consider how accessible are those locations by public transport. In Slovenia, in Stolice, when there are big games, I'm sure perhaps here you have a similar model. The city government offers free public transport just to avoid the traffic jams. But still, it gets crazy around Stolice on the bench days. Another thing fans are demanding is to have fun. They want to get engaged in the game. They wanna be involved. They wanna cheer up. Although in some football stadiums we see it's becoming more or less like going to the theater. Families coming there, being quiet. But I think sport is about passion, and this is something that fans can relate to, and it attracts them. Another thing they want are the results. Especially in this region, and especially I can say for Slovenia, I see a big correlation between the results and then the fan attendance in the games. When the big games are, especially in Ljubljana, we have several good sports, and sometimes basketball is up, everyone goes to basketball. When football is up, everyone goes there. They're calling for the VIP tickets all the time. When hockey is up, they go to ice hockey. There is no real loyalty. They are attracted by the results. I don't like it, but this is the fact we have to accept and work with in the future. There were several studies made that sports facilities influence fan satisfaction with the sports product. By sports product, I mean a match, a practice, or something related to the sport. The quality of facility really influences this, and we will see it later. Few of the recommendations. I know clubs can invest in new seats, new skyboxes, and so on and so forth. But perhaps clubs can talk with the facility owner to improve the cleanliness, to clean it more often, so the fans feel better there. So this is just the small tweaks. It's a long way, but be focused when you're discussing with facility owners to go into that direction. Now we'll do a very, very interesting case study by Arsenal Football Club from London. Highbury Stadium was a very, very legendary stadium for Arsenal. They used it for tens of years. And these are the match day revenues for the Highbury Stadium. We're talking about ticket sales and the sales made on the match day in the stadium. We're not talking about TV rights, stadium rights. We're talking just the money that fans spend at the stadium. In 2006, they finished the Emirates Stadium, and the results were completely out of this way. Arsenal is today among the top richest clubs in the world. I used Deloitte's Money League data. It's a very interesting study. They do it every year, and you should check it out if you're interested to see more of these cases. But we see how the number of seats increased for 57%, but the match day revenue increased for 111%. That's crazy money, and we're talking about year when they changed to 2007. And one thing we should mention here is that Arsenal is really not very good at winning the Premiership. They haven't had really big success for quite a long time, but they have a very strong fan base and very good loyalty from the fans. The results are even more impressive if we compare it to Real Madrid, which has more than 20,000 seats more at their iconic Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. What would you think is the difference in match day revenue between these two stadiums, between these two clubs? And we must know that we're talking about last year revenues when Real had really good run, very, very good results, and the stadium was packed most of the time. How do you think it would compare the match day revenues?
Minus 10. More for the Emirates. Yeah.
Almost. They're so close. They're so close. And it's I've been to Santiago Bernabeu, but I've never been to Emirates, and I really want to see this.
Because Emirates is really interesting place. I was a couple of times there, and firstly, this is really in comparison with Highbury. This is completely different story. This is not a club anymore that used to be, and they really have a very strong fan base. The tickets in England for the Premiership are the most expensive for Arsenal. They're sold out entire season. And I fully agree with you. It's completely comparing the quality of football and the loyalty of the fan base. It's really unbelievable because they're packed all the time. They have a very strong international fan base, like all the other Premiership clubs. They have excellent merchandising. They have excellent hospitality at the stadium. They have a couple of different levels of hospitality. And plus, if you're like at the Emirates and there are 60,000 people, in the next 15 minutes after the end of the game, more or less around the Emirates, more or less everything is going to be clear, because the City of London is then organizing the tube to run a little bit more often, and in the next half an hour no one is there. And if you are comparing like Stadium of Red Star when we played with Liverpool like last year, firstly you cannot come to the stadium because the entire city was blocked, entire city. And then going out, there is no public transport, there is no parking, and the next 2 or 3 hours you have to go somewhere to go out from there. So it's all about the organization, and Arsenal really did unbelievable.
Yeah, they did. What do you think? What are all the other factors that influenced this result? How does Arsenal do it? We had some very, very good comments so far, but does anyone has any other idea?
Higher standard.
Arsene Wenger's philosophy.
Tickets are much more expensive.
That is one reason. Just this? Okay, first one, that's right. Higher ticket prices and lots of these sky lounges where they sell tickets up front to big companies for big money, much more than at the Highbury. They have more than 250 catering locations serving food, snacks, hamburgers, drinks, beer. But what is the most impressive thing, in 50% of spectators can be served in a 15-minute break. In that break between the two halves, they earn so much money because they're able to offer something to sell. And I would link to Adnan yesterday, and we were talking, you have to go behind your customers. You have to go front them. You have to offer them something so they can actually spend the money there. Another thing they did, they installed quite a few large screens with live coverage of games to keep fans in the stadium more. And I watched the documentary, you have it on YouTube, and if you go check out online, you get plenty of interesting articles. They installed these large screens to keep the fans inside. And another thing, their philosophy was, this is not just a match day facility. This is facility for every day. So they organize these visits, these tours. Their shop is amazing. You can visit it almost at any time, and it's really, really good example. So what we can learn from it is do what you can within your own limits to improve the comfort of the fans, to help them spend money when they come to your game. Slovenia, we have a big problem because usually the bars are not owned by the clubs, but we have someone external owning the bar. Clubs does all the promotion. They bring the fans, they organize, spend their resources, their people to bring the people to the games, when that guy just sits there, serves beer, and collects the money. I think it's very, very unfair. We had, perhaps Dan would add something to that, but we had legislation about that sports clubs should be getting the revenue from the sales of the foods and snacks made during the games. So I think that would be a good way. Another thing, another revenue source quite important are the sponsorships. I really apologize for having such small fonts, but in Balkan region, a lot of sports were sponsored by state-owned companies. Throughout the privatization process, these companies got new owners, especially the foreign ones. They want to have a return on their investment, and it's really hard to calculate that and offer them a real good return on investment, especially for a small club. Only organizations with high attendance, fan base, and visibility can get large sponsorship deals. So this sponsorship market is getting really concentrated. And there is a lot of competition, a lot of these charity events, a lot of cultural events, so many people and companies and organizations requesting money, sponsorship money to fund their activities. So we have to keep this in mind as a foundation which we can build. Recommendations, focusing on visibility. During the panel we were talking about the visibility. Visibility is the number one key to getting sponsorship, according to information in the studies, and I think the general opinion is that way. But what I'm afraid of that we're not using enough potential, we're not using the full potential that is given to us by the modern technologies. It's so simple to shoot a video on the practice and post it online, just to keep talking, just to keep people talking about your sport. Another thing are the media partnership. I will use some of the examples. I worked for 5 years in Slavia. This is something that Igor actually helped us to achieve, is to get a media partnership with Playboy magazine. We did quite a lot of good content, nice photos. We had articles published there, commercials, and great thing that came from out that media sponsorship was actually that we were able to go to the sponsors and say, hey, here are the Playboys, check out, we're in here. And we use this sponsorship, media partnership actually, to create an event that attracted Lidl, which is one of the biggest retailers in Slovenia, to join us and they actually paid us money to be included in commercials inside the Playboy magazine. So it was cheap for them to get advertising in the Playboy magazine, which is a really premium thing. So they also focus on promoting their premium brands. But on the other side, we as a club used the media partnership to get sponsorship. So everything is quite connected. Another great move is to prepare ready to publish content for the media. I'm talking about press releases, things that journalists get and can almost immediately publish everywhere they want. So it has to be good text, with photos, good grammar and spelling. This is what they really like. They don't. We actually did articles, firstly for Playboy and also for some other magazines. We made it easy for them to publish us. This was our strategy, and sometimes we succeed, some ignored us, but it was an approach, an attempt into the right direction. Another thing, social media really is basically free media platform for you and everyone to communicate with the fans, and I think we all have a lot to learn how to use it properly, and in some of the future events we will have these marketing workshops where we will dive more deeply into this aspect. Another point of getting sponsorships on board is professionalism. Each year in Slovenia we did a full marketing offer. I will show it at the end of the presentation with photos, with images of ad spaces, available ad spaces, a list of it, putting it into packages, selling it to the sponsors. Of course, sometimes we succeed, sometimes we did not. But another thing is insist on signing the agreement. Just for you as a sports organization, when you're requesting sponsorship and insisting in full professionalism and transparency, you're projecting an image that you are trustworthy and that their money is more safe with you. A great way also is to exceed the expectations of sponsors. We did sponsorship for 4 or 5 ad spaces in the hall, in the helmets, but we also included their logotypes on other ad spaces we had available, and they really cherished our efforts to make their brand more visible. Here are a few interesting cases. Be open to new sponsorship models. Times when a small club or a medium-sized club would get 50,000 euros deal with one sponsor, put it on the shirt, and that's it. That's enough. I think those days are gone. You have to be more active and more dynamic in approaching these sponsorships. One case is event sponsorship. We had several events sponsored by the single local business who paid just for that game. They were everywhere. We ensured the fans got the free products from them and so on and so forth. So this is one case. Another thing is compensation, where you can get free services or products, which you can again use to do other things. We had a deal with the local, basically it's a national company that made chicken products, like hot dogs and stuff. We did a deal with them. They gave us free hot dogs. We organized few parents and actually used the free hot dog as a teaser for people to come to the game. So actually we mixed together, we got free products and created something more valuable for our fans. Third model is performance-based, get paid for the impact. I'm not talking about reaching certain sports results here. You get 50,000 if you're third, but if you're first, you get 100. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that in business is called referral model. We were discussing with one of the banks. They had a new product for young adults, and they offered to come to our game, set up a stand there, and have these registration forms. And from all people who registered, actually our club got some of the commission. So they gave us 5% of the whole, I don't know, fee they somehow calculated. This unfortunately wasn't realized because we stopped discussing. Their problem was we had too few fans to actually go into that. But this is a thing you can consider, to have it a performance base, or you can arrange with someone who sells a digital product. You can put a banner on your website. Everyone who clicks on that banner makes a purchase. You get a percentage. I'm talking about really small tools, small ways you can use in clubs. Perhaps clubs should hear also this. Another thing we tried is a subscription model. If you go to a hairdresser near your local club and you ask them, hey, can you give me 600 euros for sponsorship of a hockey club? They will look at you like you're mad, you're crazy, hey, 600 is a lot. But it's completely another different view if you tell them, can you miss 50 euros in your cash register each month? And you can make it a subscription model. 12 times 50 is still 600 euros. And well, it's a cost to cover we're talking really small amounts, but these small amounts actually add up and build a budget in the end. Lucky draw is one thing that was recently tried, I think, in Celanze. They were looking for a sponsor for a helmet. And they did a presentation and sent to all the local businesses around. It costs 300 euros to enter the draw. And in the end, they picked up one of them and gave him the general sponsor status and gave him the helmet. But they actually got 33,000 euros. 110 companies actually responded to their approach. So it's another amazing thing. In small clubs you can do it, you can collect 50 euros, I don't know. But it will add up. Starting small and growing it in future, it's important. Merchandise. In big clubs, we were talking about Emirates. Merchandise is a big part of the sports business. Perhaps not at our level, but what I like to emphasize here is just make sure to have it profitable from the day one. We did some mistakes. We bought these umbrellas with our logotypes, 50 of them. We sold 8 in a whole season. So we were left with a stock of umbrellas nobody wanted to buy. But it's example of the wrong approach. We could just put one umbrella there, collect the prepayments, pre-orders, and order as much as we actually sold. Just to making it profitable from the day one is really important. Or perhaps you can outsource the whole merchandising to a third party. You can have a license agreement. They do everything. They do the designs, they do the selling, they do the stock management, they do the whole process. You get a percentage of that, which is a fair deal if you don't have resources inside to do the whole process. Used merchandise is another thing we tried. It works very well in small clubs. Each season we sold jerseys from the previous season. We had 50 or 60 fans that were mostly family and friends. And on the first game of the season, we offered these jerseys around. It was a one-time opportunity to get game-worn jerseys. And actually, I think my father bought mine and church jerseys. The other teammates, friends bought their jerseys. So we actually collected, again, it's 500 euros, but it's way to pay our transport to Maribor for a game. And we needed that money. We really needed it. Imagine, I don't know, from your national team, the value of these jerseys might go up and you don't have any cost because you already paid for it. Cristiano Ronaldo effect. He moved 2 years or 3 years ago to Juventus, to the big sadness of the Real Madrid fans. The transfer fee paid was 100 million euros altogether. how much did you think they earned in the first day when they started selling the jerseys?
More than that, I believe.
Who's the guy?
More than that.
Best player of all time.
He spent on the Real Madrid.
How much?
More than that.
250.
He's big fan.
500, 2,000 game kits sold in 24 hours. They were ready. They were ready for the announcement of the deal, and they had it ready in their store. They had it ready everywhere. This was a big boom for Juventus. They sold 520,000 game kits in 24 hours. It's really amazing. And the stock price value, of course, went up. And the lesson here is to take advantage of the success moments and the right moments to push your products, to sell, to make more sales. This is about timing and being ready for the best time.
Can you imagine how much money will the Messi own? Not Ronaldo.
Who wants to have Messi jersey? Come on. Recommendations. We're talking about match day now. We talked about it earlier, but use all communication channels you have available. Use your own, online, offline, do printed posters. Sometimes you can get it for free from local print shop in form of small sponsorship. Use teasers. I mentioned the case with the free hot dogs. They actually came for the free hot dogs. And the next time we were inviting them, they were asking, hey, do you have free hot dogs? Yes? No? We said no. They said, we're not coming. So we were talking about how demanding they are, and we have to really cater to their own needs and make them feel welcome. Link the games with your local traditions, like Christmas game, like New Year's game, like Deda Mraz Day game. So use these traditions to your advantage to make it a better event. Cooperate with other organizations. Schools are really a good way to cooperate with because they can bring in the kids on which you can do your recruitment programs. You can get them excited about ice hockey. So everything is really well connected. So we have to look in your environment with whom you should connect and what value can you exchange. With Slavia, we did some exchanges with Domžale Football Club. Our guys went to their games, so the stadium looked more packed, and their guys actually got to our games. So it was, and for us it was a bigger impact because at our ice rink, if you add 50 people to our attendance, it looks way better. In their stadium, it wasn't such a big impact, but we had an images to show again to the sponsor, hey, we have 100 people coming to our games. Fan experience is really, really, really important because a satisfied fan spends more money and is more likely to return. Again, I'm trying to exclude the result part, which is sometimes luck, sometimes not. It's hard to control 100% the sporting part, the result part, but for everything else, you should do your best. I have two great videos to share with you. I hope it will work. But focus is enable fans to have fun. Just small games. We were also doing some games. We did the pucks. We numbered them. We had this game throwing on the ice, and the one who got closer got the reward. But we sold the pucks for €2, and again we got 50, 100 euros, which is a dinner for my team. So I'm talking really about small approaches, small steps you can make. And in our club we had really good, really big problem because the kids, they weren't coming to our games. Even the kids playing in our own club, they didn't know who the players playing for the senior team, who they were. When I was starting as a young ice hockey player, I knew everyone. I was looking at Dejan, he was one of the idols. And actually I was privileged to, in one season, to share when I grew up. Dan was still active, and I actually shared the dressing room and the ice time, mostly on practices, but it was a very good experience. But today the kids are not used to that. So what we did free tickets, free seasonal tickets. Basically we had free entry for kids all the time, but we did these small tickets, and we had our team members go into practices of these children and give out these free tickets and invite them for the games. And for some time we did the promotion in that way that actually our guys, hockey players, went in their equipment to play with the kids, to practice with them, and invite them to come to the game. And we experienced an increase in fan attendance. It was just a couple of people, but it was a start. Membership fees, it's another thing clubs greatly rely on. We have two types of membership fees. One is for enrolled children, one is for the fans. When it comes to the children, it really all boils down to how much fun kids have on ice, especially at young age. This is very important. Of course, parents also look at how high the price is, how good are the ice times available. In Slovenia, we have problem. I'm sure all of you have that these ice times are not quite friendly to the parents. Quality of coaching stuff which is important for those ambitious parents, really seeing their kids in the NHL. Club's image in the media, we talked about it, it's also important for them. And recruitment programs, we'll focus about them on some other occasion in our marketing workshops, but they also tend to bring some results. Membership fees for fans, they mostly look at the recent success, the results, the price, and the benefits of being a member. Idea we were discussing but didn't do it was to make a fan card and link it to the local businesses. So everyone who has our fan card has certain discount at the local hairdresser or to tire changes, just the small things we spent all the time on. Governmental support, Tomáš has spoken a lot about it. It comes in two forms: financial support and use of sports facilities. Sometimes they also cover the training staff salaries. Conditions to do that are mostly linked to our ability to write a convincing application, and actually the conditions that are requested from our organization, to fulfill. We talked about how government is important in this sense, but here I'm talking about lobbying approach. You have to be in good connections with them. I'm sure you know it better than I do. You have to invite them to games, show them what we are doing, show them that you've been here at this event, trying to learn and improve your own organizations. These are the stories that they can relate to, and a very important thing is to come to them with a strategy, long-term vision and strategy of your sports organization. Gentleman from UniCredit yesterday, or from Erste, explained how important it is to have someone come to you with a plan, not just, hey, we are a hockey club, we want to have your money. No, we have a long vision. We're going to invest in the coaches, we're going to develop the kids, we're going to we're going to make sure that they will get the right values during our program. We will create good human beings and good athletes. This is something most of them can relate to. So make use also of the successful moments in your seasons. So if we come back to the table, to the image, you can see all the stuff we've been discussing on. And hopefully you will take some of these ideas, principles, adjust it to your own environment. It's not that anyone is expecting from you to build an Emirates Stadium and earn 130 or more million just for the match day, but use those principles and learn and adjust it to environment and make the best use of knowledge and your experiences and your connections to grow. So basically this is from my side. If anyone has any questions, yes, Gerald.
I have a good idea from Switzerland.
Okay.
They have so-called lottery at the games. I don't know if this is allowed in Slovenia. Maybe in Austria it's not allowed. So if they have an audience with 5,000 spectators, they offer tickets for €4. So there is in the quarter 20,000 Schweizer francs, and they throw one, and the winner gets 10,000 Schweizer francs, and the other 10,000 francs go to the youth department.
That's so good.
I think that's really interesting. And other idea is from Sweden. They have the so-called Svenska TV in the internet. So it's if your kid plays you're from Stockholm and the kid plays in Gothenburg, which is I guess 400 kilometers away. You can pay a fee. This is about for 1 month, €10. And if you pay the €10 online, you can decide which club you prefer. And the federation gets €6 and the club gets €4. So it's for the federation and for the clubs. And if you pay, you can always watch your son if he's playing away. And I think this is a great solution because every grandmother in Austria or every father in Austria wants to watch his son from when he's from Vienna and he's playing in Innsbruck or in Laibach. He wants to play his son and he can watch it on TV. And this is a solution. It doesn't cost any money because the games are video, AB or they're all taped. So it would be a smart solution. Doesn't cost any money, and we get money back.
Good. So making the best use of the things you already have to generate some more. Brilliant. Does anyone has any other idea or proposal or something that would like to share with us to learn?
Eligible or ineligible?
Na Balkanu sve može. Okay, that's it. Thank you for your attention. And